Welcome to today's video, where we'll be diving into the story of the 1968 Australian 20-cent coin. A classic piece from the early years of decimal currency that still holds incredible charm even in circulated condition. The 20-cent coin was first introduced in 1966, when Australia transitioned from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to the decimal system that we know today. By 1968, this coin had already become one of the most familiar pieces in the new currency lineup. When you hold a 1968 coin in circulated condition, you can see the journey it has taken through everyday life. Scratches, small dents, and surface wear mark its history, making it more than just a coin. It becomes a story preserved in metal. On the obverse side, we find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This depiction of the Queen was introduced in the mid-1960s and is recognizable for its elegance and youthful detail. In circulated condition, the lines of her hair and tiara may be softened, but her presence still shines clearly. The reverse side of the 20-cent coin is home to one of Australia's most iconic coin designs, the platypus. Created by master engraver Stuart Devlin, the platypus appears to be gliding gracefully through rippling water, with curved lines surrounding its body to suggest motion. Even in circulated condition, the design of the platypus remains recognizable and appealing. The flowing curves and distinctive features of this unique Australian animal give the coin a sense of natural beauty that stands apart from many world coins of the era. The platypus is a perfect choice for this denomination because of its symbolic value. As a creature found only in Australia, it reflects the uniqueness of the nation's wildlife and identity, reminding everyone of what makes the country special. A 1968 20-cent coin in circulated condition often has dulled metal, as it was struck from a copper-nickel alloy that naturally loses some of its shine with time and use. Yet, this worn look can add character, making each piece distinct from the next. The size of the coin is also notable. At over 28 millimeters in diameter, the 20-cent piece is larger than many common coins, giving room for the platypus design to shine in detail. As you study a circulated example, you may notice the raised edges are worn smooth from decades of handling. This softening of the details shows just how much life the coin has seen. Despite the wear, the 1968 20-cent coin remains highly collectible because it represents the early years of Australia's decimal system, a turning point in the country's currency history. For many Australians, these coins were part of daily life, used to buy groceries, pay for bus fares, or drop into vending machines. That everyday role makes them especially nostalgic today. Collectors often prize circulated coins because they tell real stories. Unlike pristine mint-state examples that may have sat untouched in storage, circulated coins actually lived in people's pockets and hands. When you examine the coin under light, you may see fine scratches that reveal years of contact with other coins. These marks are not flaws but part of the coin's journey. The platypus design remains one of Stuart Devlin's most celebrated works. Known as the Goldsmith of the Queen, he brought artistry and imagination to Australian coinage, and this 20-cent coin is a fine example of his talent. Even after more than half a century, the 1968 20-cent coin still feels modern in its design. Its simplicity and elegance allow it to remain timeless. Some circulated coins carry a dark patina or tarnish, which can actually enhance their visual appeal. This natural aging gives them a character that polished coins often lack. For those who collect Australian currency, owning a 1968 piece is like holding a slice of the nation's transition period, just 2 years after decimalization. In excellent preservation, these coins can be dazzling, but in circulated condition, they carry a rugged beauty that speaks of endurance and everyday life. Every nick, scrape, and faded line on the coin's surface is a reminder that it served countless Australians in their daily transactions. The 20-cent coin also stands out because it was not altered with any major design changes for decades, meaning this 1968 piece connects directly to coins still circulating today. That continuity makes it a symbol of consistency within Australia's monetary system, reflecting how well its design has stood the test of time. For numismatists, the value of a circulated 1968 coin may not be high in terms of money, but its historical and cultural significance is undeniable. It's a coin that bridges the gap between functional currency and collectible art, appreciated by historians, collectors, and everyday people alike. The platypus swimming across the reverse makes the coin instantly recognizable, even to those who are not coin enthusiasts. Its distinctive look leaves a lasting impression. The obverse portrait of Queen Elizabeth II ties the coin into a larger Commonwealth history, representing not just Australia but its connection to global traditions. In circulated condition, It may not shine like it once did, but that doesn't diminish its story. In fact, it enriches it, giving us a physical record of decades of use. The 1968 20-cent coin continues to be a beloved piece among collectors, not because it is rare or expensive, but because it represents a piece of living history. By holding one in your hand, you're connecting with a time when Australia was embracing change, and coins like this helped carry the nation forward into a new currency era. When we look at coins like the 1968 20-cent piece, we're reminded that they are not just instruments of commerce, but reflections of national identity. Every design element, from the platypus to the Queen's portrait, carries layers of meaning that connect people to their heritage. This particular year, 1968, is significant because it represents the very early stages of Australia's decimalisation journey. Many of the coins from that time are still in circulation today, but the older they are, the rarer it becomes to find them in daily use. Collectors often see circulated coins as storytellers. Unlike pristine uncirculated examples, circulated coins like this one have interacted with thousands of people, exchanging hands in moments both ordinary and significant. Imagine this coin being used at a corner shop in the late 1960s, perhaps for buying a soft drink, a loaf of bread, or even school stationery. These simple transactions give the coin a lived history that enriches its character. By 1968, the new decimal coins had already started to replace the old currency completely. Australians were adjusting well to the new system, and coins like this 20-cent piece became a familiar and trusted part of everyday life. In circulated condition, the wear patterns tell us where the coin has traveled. Smooth patches along the platypus design, or fading along the Queen's portrait, highlight the areas where friction has gently erased sharp detail over decades. Every circulated coin has a unique appearance. No two are worn in exactly the same way, which means that each coin carries its own fingerprint of history. The choice of the platypus for the 20-cent coin is especially fitting. This unusual animal, with its duck-like bill and aquatic lifestyle, has long fascinated Australians and the world alike. It symbolizes the uniqueness of Australia's wildlife in a global context. The Queen's portrait by Arnold Machin was also notable because it presented a youthful and elegant image of Elizabeth II, reflecting the optimism of the 1960s and the modern spirit of the era. As the coin aged in circulation, its once bright cupronickel surface gradually dulled, but that doesn't lessen its appeal. Instead, the patina gives it a depth that collectors find attractive. Holding a circulated 1968 coin is like holding a piece of living history, a reminder of how money connects people across generations. Many coins minted in 1968 would have found their way into coin purses, cash registers, and vending machines. The very act of surviving all these decades makes any surviving piece worthy of admiration. The weight and size of the 20-cent coin also give it presence. Unlike smaller denominations, this coin feels substantial, making it more noticeable in the hand or pocket. Australia's choice to introduce large, bold decimal coins in 1966 was a statement of modernity. The 1968 20-cent coin carries forward that legacy, even in circulated condition. As a coin over half a century old, it often sparks nostalgia among those who used it in their youth. Memories of pocket money, school lunches, or shopping trips come flooding back when people see these older designs. It's also fascinating to think about how many millions of these coins were struck, yet each individual coin has its own journey. Some stayed within Australia, while others may have traveled overseas in the pockets of travelers. Even with wear, the platypus design often remains striking. Its flowing lines and sense of motion continue to inspire appreciation among numismatists and casual observers alike. The coin stands as a testament to Stuart Devlin's skill. Known as one of the finest coin designers of his era, Devlin gave Australia a set of coinage that continues to be admired around the world. When you find a 1968 coin today, it may not look as crisp as a new issue, but it embodies resilience. Despite constant use, it still retains its identity, purpose, and design. Coins like this encourage us to pause and reflect on how objects we take for granted can endure through time and tell stories beyond their monetary value. Collectors often begin their journey with circulated coins like these because they are accessible and affordable, yet they open the door to deeper appreciation of history. The 1968 20-cent piece is also a conversation starter. Showing one to a friend or family member often leads to discussions about how money has changed over time. Its simple presence in your hand connects you not only to Australia's decimalisation story but also to the global context of the 1960s, a time of great social and economic transformation. Although circulated coins may not carry high monetary value, their cultural worth is immense. They preserve shared experiences and national pride. The platypus swimming across the coin reflects movement, life, and nature, an ever-present reminder of Australia's rich biodiversity. This coin, even in circulated form, bridges the gap between the past and present. It reminds us of a time when Australia embraced change with confidence and crafted coins that could endure for generations. As you admire a circulated 1968 20-cent piece, you're not just looking at a coin, you're engaging with history, design, and memory all at once. It's an object that has been a silent companion to millions of Australians, traveling through pockets, tills, and hands, silently documenting the nation's everyday life. And today, it continues to inspire appreciation, not for its rarity or expense, but for its enduring place in the shared story of Australia's currency and culture.